welcome back to visual novels. I'm gonna only read Kanade to only a certain extent. So apparently Frontwing posted in X that you're only allowed to upload until before the opening song. Anything after the opening song, the opening song and anything after that is not allowed to be uploaded. I mean, yeah, but I think they're in that phase where they're actively watching for any uploads. So maybe from a year or 2 or 3 from now, they'll totally they'll have someone monitoring this stuff, and we'll eventually have like a full playthrough. But for now, I'm just gonna go through until before the opening song, which I don't know when is gonna happen. So we'll see. I'll probably just do 1 hour. Other than that, unless the opening song is like within 20 minutes. So I don't know, man. Anyway, let's check it out.
私たちの恋を始めましょう。
The girl stares up at the tall red tower, her eyes sparkling. It's made of steel, and it's partially covered in vines that creep up its trusses.
ここにあの人が住んでいるんですね。
When the girl reaches the foot of the tower, she looks up at it again in awe.
すごい高さです。すごい階段の数です。一体何段くらいあるのでしょう。
The girl mumbles to herself in genuine wonder. She doesn't shy away from the countless steps before her. Quite the opposite, in fact. A smile plays on her lips.
いっぱい登りましょう。だってこの先にあなたがいるのですから、待っていてくださいね、ゆうとさん。私来ました。あなたと恋をしに。
Alright, looks good. Having finished cleaning every nook and cranny of my room, I give it a once over to ensure that everything is spotless. This is where I live, the observation deck of a tall tower. I renovated it myself. I've been living here on my own. But soon a girl is going to be joining me at my place. More importantly, she's not just coming to hang out. She's unbelievable. I guess you really never know what life has in store for you. I'm sure any guy in my position would be up before dawn cleaning. Thanks to my thorough efforts, it's tidier than it's ever been. However, I glance over at the window. I'm surrounded by windows on every side here, but unfortunately the view isn't great at the moment. A large portion of the glass is covered in leafy vines. I should have taken the time to trim them down. And summer the plants never seem to stop growing no matter how often I cut them. That's why I've been putting the task off. It's not as if they're an eyesore. They're actually quite beautiful. However, they do obscure the otherwise amazing view from up here. Finding a gap between the vines covering the windows, I look out over the scenery below. Outside, cluster of buildings are covered in varying shades of green. A sudden, unexplainable proliferation of plants, referred to colloquially the overgrowth, has left much of human civilization drowning in greenery. The phenomenon started way before I was born. Plants began to grow at unprecedented speeds all over the world, turning deserts green, purifying rivers, oceans, and even the atmosphere seemingly overnight. When it first appeared, many heralded it as the green miracle. It was seen as a blessing. However, the growth never stopped, and eventually smothered much of what was once considered human civilization. Even the largest concrete jungles were rapidly swallowed up by the botanical invasion, and the plants didn't just grow above ground. Basements, subways, and other underground structures were taken over by new species of plants that could grow without photosynthesis. At first, the authorities tried to fight against the tenacious undergrowth, but their attempts were in vain. Gradually, people gave up and moved away from urban areas. The only ones who remain in this all but abandoned city now are those who find it hard to leave. Despite the inconveniences, they still love their hometown, and I love the local tight-knit community here. Today, a very special visitor is coming to our town. We first got to know each other thanks to my carrier pigeons. It took much longer than usual to return, and when it did finally come back, it appeared as if somebody had helped it recover from injury. I soon found a letter inside its message capsule that confirmed as much. I wrote a letter of thanks and sent it out, and I received a reply a few days later. From then on, we continued to correspond back and forth. I learned that my benefactor was a girl who lived alone with her numerous pets in a place surrounded by rich nature. In response, I wrote to her about how I renovated the observation deck and similarly lived alone, about the local community here, and about the work I was doing. I learned that she liked sweet foods, soft and fluffy things, plants, her parents, and singing. I shared my preferences for meat and the occasional cup of coffee, when I imagined to get my hands on some, and that I like fixing things. I also wrote about my parents, who are traveling merchants, and talked to them occasionally on my radio transceiver. Through our letters, we slowly got to know each other. She shared with me her most private thoughts and feelings, and I'd reply with things I would never say to anybody in person. Like love, for instance. It wasn't something I talked about much. It's not because I was embarrassed about the idea of it. It's just that most people my age don't seem to have such time for such frivolity. We're more focused on survival than anything. At some one point, the topic of Tanabata, a festival that commemorates the romantic stories of two star-crossed lovers, came up in our letters. She asked me, it was then I realized I knew absolutely nothing about love. I felt it would be wrong to give her a perfunctory answer, so I did some research. I went to the local library, which was more someone's private collection than anything. I checked out some romance novels and poetry anthologies. I also started asking everyone I knew about love. After reading and hearing all those stories, I did something on my own before sending her my reply. What I described was probably my ideal form of love, the way I'd like it to be. Falling in love isn't logical. It's something that just happens to you. After I sent it off, I worried that I might have been a little too cheesy, but I meant every word. I had no regrets. No, let's be honest here. I was trying to put on airs. Every time I thought back to that letter, as I tossed and turned in bed at night, I wish I could sink through the floor. I was on edge the entire time until I finally received a reply. When my pigeon came back, I hurriedly opened the message capsule with trembling hands and found a thin piece of paper filled with words that seemed to jump out at me. I'll never forget them. This is what it said.
私、優斗さんと恋がしたいです。
Today she's coming here. She's coming here to see me, to fall in love with me. If that was all she wanted, then a long-distance relationship would have been an option. But she insisted on seeing me in person. She wants to see my face and hear my voice, and I want to meet her too. I want to see her face and hear her voice. What kind of girl is she? I know she's a bit younger than me. We told each other a lot about ourselves in our letters, but there's plenty I still don't know about her yet. She seems honest, cheerful, and pure. She never hesitates to tell me exactly how she feels. And it also seems that she's quite stubborn. I offered to pick her up at her place, but she insisted she could make it here by herself and refused to take me up on my offer. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I never know myself as the type of guy who could get this nervous. Every letter I sent her left me trembling in anticipation for her reply. Even though I knew she was a kind girl, I couldn't help but think, what if she takes one look at me and thinks, wow, what a loser? What if I don't live up to her expectations? Unfortunately, the chance isn't zero. If she doesn't like me, then that'll be that. I might end up crying myself to sleep that case though. I guess there's no point in worrying about it now. If all else fails, hopefully we can still exchange the letters. Oh. Oh. A shooting star. A trail of light shoots through the pre-dawn sky. I make a wish. Normally I do it by mere force of habit. But this time, I pray with all my heart. Please, don't think I'm a loser. Don't reject me at first sight. Please, I beg you.
こんにちは。
Hmm? Huh? A beautiful silver-haired girl puts down her small bag and bows her head towards me.
ゆうとさんですよね。はじめまして。私です。かなでです。
She's here. She's real.
やっと会えましたね。ずっと会いたかったから嬉しいです。私最高のラブソングを歌って世界を救わないといけないんです。だから手紙に書いたこと、私は本気ですごく大事なことで、だから改めて言わせてください。私と恋。
Anyway. It's awkward to just stand around and talk in a situation like this. So I invite her to sit down. That might be more for my sake though. I probably look like a nervous wreck. The girl in front of me, on the other hand, looks remarkably calm. To be honest, I'm still trying to catch up with what's happening right now. Everything's moving so quickly. So, what were you saying about, saving the world?
はい、私世界を救わないといけないんです。
You never mentioned anything like that in your letters, have you?
はい、手紙では話せないって思ったので今話しています。
Stumari, you were worried that it might scare me off.
はい、世界を救うなんていきなり手紙に書いてあったらびっくりされて変な人だなって思われちゃうかなって思って。
I see. But you know, Kanade-san,
はい。
I'm just stunned now. As stunned now as it would have been then. Maybe even more so?
あ
It's like a light bulb just lit up in her head.
いきなり変な人になってしまいました。
That's okay. Everyone gets ahead of themselves sometimes.
はい。
Despite how calm she looks, maybe she's panicking just as much on the inside as I am. Well, it's true that you surprise me, but I don't think that makes you a weirdo.
ゆうとさんは優しいですね。
Am I?
はい。
I think she's the kinder of the two of us, if she's able to say that to me right now. But I don't mind it at all. It actually makes me happy. Thank you, I guess?
それで私と恋してもらえますか？
Wait, hang on a second. Don't you think you're moving a little too fast?
あ、すみません。ではのんびりと。私と恋。
Wait, hang on a second.
ダメですか？
You're doing that on purpose, aren't you? My first impression was that she's super pure and innocent. But maybe that's actually not the case. She flashes me a mischievous grin, and I start to question my ability to read people. Until we met for real, I thought a lot about what she might be like. But she's already subverting all my expectations. It would be fun to continue fooling around. But I have so many questions I want to ask her. I should try to steer the conversation back on track. So you... Kanade-san? You...
呼び捨てでもいいですよ。
Are you sure? You're still being really polite to me, though.
ゆうとさんの方が年上ですから、年上の方はさん付けで呼ぶものなんですよね。
But...
では2人ともさん付けにしましょうか。そして晴れて恋人になれたら呼び捨てになりましょう。
that works.
ではそれで。
No, that's not... I mean, it does work, but that's not... How do I explain it? What is my problem? Exactly. How do I get it across? I don't want her to take it the wrong way. The thing is, I don't mind the idea. I'm definitely open to what she's proposing. I mean, the becoming a couple part at least. I'm still not sure about the whole saving the world part yet. I felt the same way when she suggested it in her letter. But now that I've met her and talked to her in person, my enthusiasm is rising with every breath I take. If I hadn't been open to it, I wouldn't have agreed to meet her in the first place. But I'd really need to take a step back and give a moment to think. She's moving things along way too quickly. I voice my thoughts out loud while I try to sort them out. Well, think about it. This is the first time we're seeing each other in person.
はい。
In situations like these, there's always a chance we end up not being each other's type. Kanade-san is listening to me intently, taking in every word I say. The seriousness in her expression makes me realize that I absolutely can't afford to mess up my explanation here. It's also possible that we can't imagine ourselves in a relationship. Or maybe we'd decide we'd rather just be friends.
全然そうじゃなかったですね。
Oh, okay. Things, I guess?
どういたしましてです。でもゆうとさんは私はダメダメでしたか？
Whoa! Hold up. I never said that. I swear to heaven and earth and all of its inhabitants, that's not the case. I actually think you're really cute. She suddenly showed up and declared that she needs to save the world. So, I probably should be thinking about other things right now, but... Well, what can I say? She's very cute. Incredibly cute, in fact. From the top of her head to the tips of her toes, she was adorable. I can't think of any other way to describe her.
可愛いですか?
Yeah, I do.
照れちゃいますね。でも嬉しいです。ゆうとさんもかっこいいですよ。
Gee, thanks. You're right. It is embarrassing to receive such a straightforward compliment.
そうなんです。ですから私も照れちゃいました。それで何のお話でしたっけ?
Right. Go in. What I wanted to say was, no. I sneak a glance at Kanade-san. She's staring straight at me, holding on to every word I say. She seems to be gleaning something from my words and actions, and is waiting patiently for me to finish. Thanks to her calm demeanor, I'm able to think calmly too. Let's see. I'm a bit taken aback by how fast she's moving things along, but leaving the saving the world thing aside for now, let me think about the love thing. She's made her intentions crystal clear. She's asked me if I would fall in love with her. Thankfully, none of my fears came to pass. She didn't walk out in the moment she saw me. And she wants to begin a relationship with me. That's not something she would say on a mere whim. I don't think. This girl tries her hardest at everything she does. That's the picture of her I got from her letters. Through every one of her replies to my letters, I can sense the effort she puts into describing what she's seen, what she felt, and what she thought. If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that she doesn't tell lies. That purity of her heart, which I had already felt from her letters, is now on display right in front of me. I can feel it in her expression, in the tone of her voice, and in every word she says. Her desire to meet me and fall in love with me is genuine. So, I guess there's no reason to hesitate, is there? Alright, I got it. Kanade tilts her head in confusion, clearly unsure what exactly I got. I continue putting into words exactly what's on my mind. It took me a bit, but I think I get it now. When you saw me, you decided I was good enough. That's why you wanted to fall in love with me. Kanade-san's eyes widen for a moment, and then she bashfully averts her gaze.
私もわかりました。やっぱり私、とっても前のめりになってたんですね。さっきゆうとさんに「はじめまして」って声をかけて顔を見た時に、もう大丈夫って思ってしまって、それでいきなりいろいろなことを言い過ぎましたね。
It's fine. I'm sorry for reacting the way I did. I wish I could have been as bold and unflinching as she is.
いえ、そんなこと。
I shake my head and smile shyly at Kanade-san, who is all flustered. After you first wrote that you wanted to fall in love, we talk about so many things in our letters. But when you're talking in person, things really feel different, don't they? That's okay though. I'm over my initial shock now, so I'm ready to listen to what you got to say. Please, tell me everything. では改めて。 Kanade-san closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. Her shiny silver hair framing her face swishes as she does.
ゆうとさん、はじめまして。私 私、奏と言います。私とずっと文通をしてくださってありがとうございます。私が恋って何ですかって手紙で聞いた時、真剣に考えてくれてありがとうございます。私が会いたいって言った時にいいよって言ってくれて、私
Oops.
あなたと会って顔を見て声を聞いて、あなたと恋をしたいって会う前よりも強く感じました。ゆうとさん、私と恋をしてくれますか？まだ恋に落ちることができるかわからないけれど、落ちられるようにお付き合いしてくれますか？ゆうとさんはお手紙で私に答えてくれました。恋は落ちるものだって、理屈のないものだって。私、その言葉を読んだ時に目の前が明るくなって胸がドキドキして、私もそんな恋がしたいって、こんな風に言ってくれる人と恋に落ちたいって、あなたと恋に落ちたいって。
Kanade-san's sounds completely different from before. Her words, spoken without even a shed of reticence, pierced through my heart like an arrow made of pure light. Her words themselves haven't changed, though. It's me who's perceiving them differently. Because I shook off my hesitation and made up my mind, Kanade-san's words are finally getting through to me. We've been exchanging letters for quite some time. We've written about all sorts of thoughts and feelings. I may not have known her nearly as long as my friends here in town, but I've laid my heart bare to her more often than anyone else in my life. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but in a way, Kanade-san knows me better than anyone else in the world. She also laid bare her heart to me in her letters. That's why she meant so much to me already, even before we met. These feelings have been building up inside me ever since I received that first letter. And now that precious girl is right in front of me, and she wants to begin a relationship with me. In that case, there's only one response that makes sense here. Only one thing I want to say. I take a deep breath before speaking up. The words I'm about to speak may end up determining my and Kanade-san's future. They might be the most important words I'll ever say. Alright then, let's do it. I look Kanade-san straight in the eye and give her a firm nod. I want to fall in love with you too. So, let's try. Please, let me be your boyfriend and you be my girlfriend. A broad smile blooms on Kanade-san's face. It's so radiant, my heart swells at the sight. Then she kneels down on the floor and bows deeply before me. I get down on the floor as well and mimic her actions. Kochira koso. I hope we'll get along too. A moment later, we both look up at the same time, and we smile at each other when our eyes meet. Seeing Kanade-san smile at me like that fills me with a feeling unlike anything I felt before. It's warm and a bit ticklish. Wow, I'm really going to start dating this girl so that we can fall in love. The thought of it is making my heart race, but not in a bad way. It's exciting. I'll have to do my absolute best to make sure she can fall in love with me. I'm so glad to have gotten the most important thing out of the way. Now, we can get back on track. Kanade-san? Kanade-san still seems flustered by our conversation about love. So when I ask my next question, I try to keep my tone as flat as possible so as to not let any of my doubts show. What do you mean by saving the world exactly?
説明しますね。
Oh, I'm almost 30 minutes. I thought the opening song would show up in the next 20 minutes. In 20 minutes, and that's why the Frontwing website was like, the Frontwing page was like, you can only upload until the opening song. Unless I accidentally skipped the opening song and I didn't even know. All right, let's go deeper now.
All right.
Oh, that's her line. Sorry.
私、実は宇宙人と人間のハーフなんです。
Nice. Nice.
Chujin?
Wait, this might be a good thumbnail. No, this is still stuff you read from reading their social media account. So not yet spoilery stuff or whatever.
お母さんが宇宙人で、お父さんが人間です。
Wow.
Her cousins and the Chujin.
私は二人の愛の結晶で。
What's up with this the angle stuff?
A blank look crosses my face. I don't even know how to react. The Chujin definitely wasn't on the list of words I thought would ever come out of Kanade-san's mouth. That's something you only see in those science fiction books from the library. How do I even react to something like that? I don't want to act insensitive and dismiss what she just said. But common sense dictates that's not something I can accept at face value. If I want to make her happy, I'll have to convince myself to believe her. But it would be rude of me to just nod along without giving any serious thought to what she's really saying. What should I do? What should I say? Well, it's not like I can disprove what she's saying. I have so many questions, but let's listen to what else she's got to say. I decided to give her a brief nod, encouraging her to continue.
本当はお母さんがこの世界を救うはずだったんです。でもお母さんがいなくなっちゃったので、私が代わりに世界を救うんです。
Her Okasan's not with us anymore? Does that mean her Okasan passed away? She never wrote about that in her letters. She didn't say it outright either. Or maybe it's not something she wants to talk about. That's definitely not a good conversation starter. Hey, is your Okasan dead? I decided to stay quiet and just keep listening.
そのためには恋をして最高のラブソングを歌わなくてはならないんです。
Excuse me? I raised my hand.
私それ知ってますよ。学校では先生に質問するときに挙手するんですよね。
Yeah, that's right.
では、はい、ゆうとさん。
You say that you need to fall in love and sing the greatest love song in order to save the world. But I fail to see how those two things are connected. Could you go into a bit more detail?
はい、わかりました。確かに説明不足でしたね。すみません。
Yeah, it's fine.
そうですね。
Kanade-san glances around the room before walking over to the window. I really should have taken the time to cut some of those vines down.
これだけ緑に覆われていると外が見えにくいですね。
No, it wasn't this bad before, but they keep spreading. If you take your eyes off the plants for even a moment, they'll take over all the available real estate before you know it. And it's incredible to think they used to grow even faster in the past.
ゆうとさんはお手紙でこの場所から眺める街の景色が好きだって言ってましたよね。
I did. This is my favorite place to be. I love it so much that I decided to renovate it so I could live here. When I said I wanted to live in the observation deck, my friends questioned whether it would be too hard to climb the stairs every day. But to me, this amazing view is totally worth the inconvenience. Ever since I moved in, I've been trimming the vines regularly to try to keep them in check. Yet, no matter how much I cut, they're still slowly encroaching upon the windows. Of course, I could still see the town and the sky through the gaps. But it's true that the view isn't as magnificent as it once was. Lately, I've been going outside on the stairs whenever I want to get a good look at the town.
このままだと何もかもが緑に沈んでしまいそうですね。
I think they're going to cover the entire world eventually. The population has been steadily declining, and civilization along with it. My teacher said that in the distant future, only plants and animals will remain on Earth. Kanade-san walks back over to me. She casually takes my hand.
And holding lewd, by the way.
Anyway, everything feels so natural that my mind tricks me into thinking we've been holding hands like this on a regular basis for years. Of course, that's not the case. Kanade-san and I only met each other face to face for the first time today. But that's just how natural this feels. Wait. Okay. My mind doesn't even register that I should be embarrassed right now. Her hand feels soft and comfortably warm to touch. Not too hot, not too cold. This is exactly how I imagine it must feel like to hold a marshmallow. To describe her hands as a marshmallow. I never had them, but I've heard of them. But Kanade-san isn't a piece of candy. She's a real girl. As the realization hits me again, my heartbeat begins to speed up. This kind of thrill is probably a necessary step in the process of falling in love with Kanade-san. Yeah, I should cherish this excitement.
ゆうとさん、こちらに来てください。
Kanade-san walks across the metal floor, a soft plank marking every one of her steps. Most people in town walk shoes with soft soles these days, so their footsteps don't make any noise. But Kanade-san's footsteps are rhythmic, almost melodical, as if she's dancing to piano music. It's a new sound to me, the sound of a girl who's new to this town. That's enough to make it special. The crisp air of dawn still carries upon it the coolness of the night, even though it's in the middle of the summer. I recall the old man at the junk shop telling me stories about summer nights being so sweltering that you couldn't sleep without the assistance of a cooling device. According to him, the world used to be a lot livelier at once upon a time, and this town was filled with lights and sounds 24/7. But now everything's incredibly quiet. Kanade-san lets go of my hand, and she climbs litly up the tower's trusses. Her silver hair floats and flutters in the wind. Perched atop the tower with perfect balance, she looks like a small bird with silver feathers. She stretches her slender fingers towards the first light of the day, and the shooting star sparkles through the sky at her fingertips. Kanade-san closes her eyes. Then she opens them again. Her lips part and she takes a deep breath. Her voice. Clear as ringing of a bell, it reaches far into the distance. It projects bursts of joy, like spring flowers blooming one after the other. She sings with pure radiant delight, like an innocent child who knows no shame, and her song is soothing, like blessed rain after a long drought. The joyful notes dance over the town and toward the horizon. Glittering in the morning light, they wash over the buildings like a shower of blossoms fluttering in the wind. Her melody, her rhythm, her harmony, they're a symphony for my eardrums, unearthing profound emotions deep within I never realized I had. I'm so entranced by her song that I fail to notice the changes in our surroundings at first. The plants. As if in response to Kanade-san's voice, the vines covering the tower's observation deck quietly recede. The sun rises. The townscape below, submerged in green, is bathed in dazzling light. The same light illuminates the girl before me. She continues to sing, bathed in this glorious warmth. I'm unable to do anything and captivated by her song. I could listen to her forever. But at the same time, every note fills me with immense sense of satisfaction. Her song is in your face. It gently envelopes and fills your heart. You know, this VN really has some good art. For the first few moments of this VN, it has good art. I wouldn't call it ultra amazing, but like it has really good art. But like, yeah, this was a good scene though. Like, anyway, and they actually incorporated a lot of good art, a lot of different art. And they're starting out with a song, nice. Anyway, but the beginning's kind of like okay. Anyway, I look up at Kanade-san, feeling completely satisfied with all sorts of emotions welling up inside me. The sun has risen well above the horizon, and she looks down over the town.
私、なんとなくなんですけど、この子たちの植物の気持ちがわかるんです。そしてこの子たちも、私の気持ちをなんとなくでも分かってくれている気がします。この子たちも、人を滅ぼしたいわけじゃないんです。それは確かに感じるんです。だから私の歌に耳を傾けてくれる。
There's so many CGable. There's so many thumbnailable screen CGs already in the beginning, in the first 40 minutes. Jesus.
The girl looks back at me with a gentle
こ
smile.
の世界は緑に沈もうとしています。でも
He looks around. The observation deck feels a lot brighter and more spacious now that the vines have retreated.
私のこの力はきっと世界を救えると思うんです。
A song to save the world. It may sound too outlandish to simply take it at face value. However, having heard her sing, it blew away all my doubts stemming from common sense. That's how overwhelmingly amazing it was. Rather than the sight of the plants retreating, it's Kanade-san's voice itself that dispelled my skepticism. Her voice is just like the morning light I'm watching right now, violently dispelling the darkness of the night.
This is Fuminori. I really love it as compositions, man. Our guy from Makora, Keroku, whatever. Anyway,
There isn't a shed of hesitation or confusion left inside me. All right then, I believe you.
ありがとうございます。
I'll watch those plants react to your song with my own two eyes.
Speaking of song, Uta. Sakura no Uta. Sorry.
Anyway, I can't deny that she seems to have some kind of special power. Chonoriku. Anyway, and since that's the case, I can't come up with any reason to think she would lie about being half a chuju.
はい、これだけ口頭無形なお話ですから。
He's right. It does sound crazy. In those situations, it's usually just easier to show than it is to tell. I'm glad I didn't outright dismiss her claims when she told me she was part Uchujin. Not out loud, at least. But I regret that I doubted her at first. Common sense, skepticism, denial. On the inside, I'm in having nothing but negative reactions to Kanade-san. Will I really be able to fall in love when I'm like this? If I believe her every word without questioning anything, that would suggest I'm not taking this seriously. But some things can't be done unless you believe in the other person first. I don't think believing the other person and checking to see if what they say is actually true contradict each other. I think might to be able to believe what you say without having to prove yourself first. That's why I believe you when you say that you might be able to save the world. This is a necessary step for me to fall in love with her. I need to believe in her.
ありがとうございます。
But koi, huh? Falling in love. I cross my arms and think, for Kanade-san and I to fall in love, we'll have to take on all sorts of challenges together. That means I collect the thoughts spinning around my mind and try to piece them into some plausible scenarios. After a long silence, a couple of things are clear to me. I speak with a serious expression. Kanade-san.
はい。
I notice her jump a little when she sees the look on my face. There's a few important things we need to do before we can even begin to think about falling in love or saving the world.
それは
Well...
婚約者
Yeah, this is Kanade-san, my konyakusha.
Wait, did I accidentally skip over like the opening song? Because I don't know why Frontwing was like, oh, you can't go beyond the opening song, or you'll be taken down and whatever, or legal action or whatever. I don't know, man. Let's continue.
はじめまして。ゆうとさんの婚約者のかなでです。
Kanade-san bows politely to the two girls in front of us.
I like her VA, by the way. I can't remember who her VA is, but she might be special. I know they got like superstar VAs for this VN.
Their inquisitive gazes kind of hurt in all sorts of ways, but I can't back down now. Come on, Yuto. You can do this. I need to convince them, or else this relationship isn't going to work out. I told Kanade-san that if she and I are going to live together, the first thing we need to The first thing we need to do, that's missing the word do, is to introduce her to my friends, starting with these two. If we don't get them on board, all sorts of weird rumors would start flying around in town in no time. That would be no way to begin our life together. People would also get suspicious of me if I suddenly showed up with an unfamiliar girl in tow and then introduce her in a convincing way. Not that I really care what people say about me, but the last thing I want is to make people worry about me. Though, I would be a little sad if they treated me with suspicion. Equally important is that I need to fall in love with Kanade-san. So I thought about the best way to go about that. Then I talked to her about all the possibilities and about the choices we'd have to make. For example, if I introduced Kanade-san as my pen pal who'd come to visit me from another town, it would create an expectation that she'd leave again after some time. She told me that it took her over a day to walk here from her place. It would be too much to ask of a petite girl like her to travel that distance back and forth multiple times, no matter how much she wants to fall in love. I considered going to visit her at her place, but I have a job and people would rely on me, so I can't leave town that often. We concluded that the best way to go about this would be by living together. The more time you spend talking and doing things together, the more chances there should be to fall in love. Initially, I thought it might be better if I got Kanade-san to a place of her own in town. But if these two busybodies hear that Kanade-san needs to stay in town, they would probably offer her a room in their own houses out of fear for her safety. And that's just the kind of girls they are. Of course, I would appreciate the offer. It would be very kind of them. But Kanade-san, she wanted to live with me at my place. Actually, it seemed that she hadn't considered any other options.
私、ゆうとさんのお家で暮らしたいです。一緒に暮らすって 恋を育むのにとってもいい方法だと思うんです。相手のいいところをいっぱい見られますし、いいところだけじゃなくて悪いところを知ってもそれは相手の大事な一部分だから、むしろ可愛く思えてくるってお母さんが言っていました。アバタもエクボにも程があるってお父さんが言っていましたけど、でもですね、私は優斗さんの悪いところを知ったとしても可愛いなって思える気がするんです。
I very much appreciate her enthusiasm. I'm genuinely thrilled to have such a cute girl living with me. But what should we tell everyone? How do we explain our situation? The best answer we could come up with was to introduce her as my koyaksha in an arranged marriage decided by our parents. Some people might find it outrageous, but it should be the most convincing way to explain why we're living together. It pains me to tell a lie to the people I care about, but as a wise man once said long ago, the end justifies the means. Which wise man? I don't know, man. Kanade-san accepted my idea of using a white lie. I wonder if a pure girl like her would be opposed to telling a lie, but she understood the need for it and agreed.
でもいつか本当のことを言えるといいですね。
By the way, I don't know why I hung over my hip. I know he keeps worrying about the concept of her being a pure girl or whatever, but I totally understand the target market of this thing. Anyway,
You mean tell them that we had to fall in love in order to save the world?
はい、
She's right. Telling the truth isn't always the right choice, but I have a feeling that someday it'll make for a fun story to tell. That's why... In the hopes that a future like that may come, today we'll have to focus on convincing these two.
婚約者ね、怪しい。
Her intuition is spot on as always. This feisty-looking girl is Iori. She's the only daughter of Kuburagi-san, who is the town's unofficial mayor. He's a doctor, and his wife is a teacher, so everyone here relies on them for their advice and wisdom. Her dad, Otosan, is already busy enough with his job, but he always takes the time to listen to everyone's side of the story whenever a conflict arises and mediates between them. Iori grew up seeing her parents' involvement with the community, so she inherited their strong sense of responsibility and has always been a straight A student. She manages to pin down exactly the right timing of when to talk to the residents, and her solutions to problems are always perfect, so everyone trusts her judgment. Since both her parents are perpetually busy, Iori often helps out by solving people's problems entirely on her own. The old aunt at the shop often says that Iori acts kind of like a student's council Setokaicho. Setokaicho. I don't really get that analogy though. Iori curiously peers into our faces. We aren't too worried about what might happen if they found out the truth. We made our decision. Now we have to see it through. I continue as if it's the most natural thing in the world. It was a huge shock for me too when she showed up, you know. But I can't exactly turn her away, could I?
それはそうだけど。
I try to appeal to her reason and logic. She doesn't look quite convinced. But because there's nothing odd about what I said, she doesn't ask any invasive questions either. That's the first hurdle cleared.
まあまあ、いいじゃないのより。
I miss her. I miss this VA, man. I can't wait for Red Garden to come back. When is Red Garden coming back, guys? Anyway, it'll be her story. Anyway.
親が決めた婚約者なんてロマンティックで素敵だし、あなたってばそればっかり。もうちょっと現実を見なさいよね。人は現実のみ見て来るにあらず。
The cheerful girl standing next to the exasperated Iori, with a gentle smile on her face, is Minori.
The naming, I guess. I'm not gonna think too hard about the naming sense.
She's the poster girl of Hinata Diner, which serves the best food in town. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Hinata Diner keeps the whole town and several neighboring ones as well happily fed. Now that Hirokasa is pregnant again, Minori mostly runs the place by herself. I've known Iori and Minori my entire life. They're both a year older than me, so I sort of see them as my onesans as well as my osananajimi. Iori presses me to continue, so I explain.
なるほどね。つまり前々から電車バタで連絡を取り合っていたのがこの子で、一人で暮らしていたかなでちゃんの家が壊れて君の家にご厄介になりに来たってことなのね。
Yeah. Aside from the part of us being engaged, everything else I told them isn't too far from the truth. Iori crosses her arms and thinks for a moment before approaching me.
ちょっとあなたこっちに来て。
She links her arm with mine and pulls me away from the others.
あんた分かっているでしょうね。
Yeah, so we know what's going to happen.
あんな可愛い子を泣かせたら道義的にも心情的にも許さないから。
Yeah, I know. Don't need you lecturing me about treating her well, when that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's why I wanted to introduce her to you too.
そんな真剣な顔しちゃって本気なわけね。
Give me a second. There's something I need to check. Oh, I didn't know. Oh yeah, Mochi's VA is in this VN. How come she's not familiar to me? I'm figuring out who's Iori's VA. She's new, so. Oh, that would explain why I don't know who she is. Yeah. Okay. So her PA's kind of new, like career-wise.
まあいいわ。バカっぽいところも多々あるけど、あなたのこと根本的なとこでは信頼しているから。
Did you really have to go and call me an idiot?
ユウトの半分はおバカさんでできてます。で、残りは優しさね。
I can't tell if you're complimenting or insulting me. She's finally smiling. I'll take that to mean that she accepts us. Thinking from Iori's standpoint, she probably wants to prevent anything that could potentially cause trouble in town, especially if it involves me, because she thinks me as an ototo. She doesn't spoil me, so she won't use kid gloves on me. And that strict righteousness of hers is that has earned her the community's trust. Now, are Minori and Kanade-san up to? Judging by their cheerful chatter, they seem to be getting along just fine.
ユウトさん。
Kanade-san runs over and peers up at me with sparkles in her eyes.
私も後でチーってのをしたいです。
That was kind of okay.
Gee, you mean like Iori did before? What does she call what she was doing all day yesterday then?
はい、それです。私もじっとユウトさんを見つめたいです。
Maybe she didn't actually realize she was doing it.
みのり、あんたね、何変なこと吹き込んでいるのよ。見つめ合うことが恋を育むのよ。でもみのりさん、私たち恋を育むためにもまず恋に落ちないといけないんです。
Wait, did she spill the? Why is she talking like this? Or no, maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe because they're arranged marriage and stuff. But it felt like she spilled the beans or some shit.
恋に落ちる。
Oh shit! Iori's catching on!
はい、私たち恋に落ちる必要があるんです。ね、ユウトさん。
She's right. We need to fall in love first. It seems Kanade-san explained a lot to Minori. It's kind of embarrassing for me to talk about Koi with someone I've known for so long, so I'm grateful she did it for me.
そうなのね。いいわね。若いわね。青春ね。あんたもこいつと一つしか離れてないでしょうに。細かいことはいい子なしよ。あんたが大雑把すぎるのよ。
I can't wait for Red Garden, guys. A whole rap for this girl. SPA.
Anyway, Mina returns to Kanade-san again with an amused smile.
かなでちゃん、ゆうとちゃんのことよろしくお願いね。困ったことがあったら相談に乗るから、いつでも声をかけてちょうだい。
Also, why is she playing another main character?
She's been playing a lot of main characters in her career, huh?
そうそう、気軽にね。はい、ありがとうございます。ところで、ゆうと、アキ姉にはこのこと話したわけ？
Not yet. I was planning to go after talking to you
ち
too.
ょっとあなたね、こういう重要な話はまずアキ姉やおじいさんに話しなさいよね。
Huh? I know it's important. That's why I came to tell you two first.
Why the blush, though?
I did call them on the radio transceiver to let them know I had something important to tell them later, though.
それは先に言いなさいよね。まったく。さっさと話をしに行ってきなさいよね。
Yeah, we will. See you later.
それと相談したいことがあるから、かなでさんのことが落ち着いたらこっちにまた顔を出して。植物がね、また育ちまくっちゃって。
Got it.
おう、かなでさんのこと町のみんなにも紹介しておくようにね。
Of course.
町の皆さんにご挨拶するんですね。
Yeah, if you're not too tired, that is.
大丈夫です。お手紙で読んでいた町の皆さんにお会いできるのはとても楽しみです。アキ姉さんとおじいさんは手紙でもよくお名前を見ていました。旅に出たご両親の代わりにユウトさんの保護者をしてくださっている方ですよね。おじいさんはユウトさんにとってお師匠様みたいな存在でもあるって。そうそう、そうなのよ。よく知っているわね。
You just know.
以前から文通していた子だというのも、まあこんな無邪気な子を怪しみたくはないのだけど、この辺りの相談役を担っている身としてはさまざまな事態を想定しなくちゃいけないしね。考えてるいろいろなことを想定して、何かあった時にすぐに対策できるようにしたいのよね。真面目よね。
I think there's a misspelling here. Like, I know that face Iori's making. She's stimulating all sorts of situation. I think the context here should be his head, so he'll be ready to deal with whatever may happen. He takes things way too seriously. I think it's not she, it's to be he. But the one who's doing the stimulating is Kanade.
Yeah, I think there's a typo.
でも今回はそこまで深入りはしないつもりってお顔に書いてあるわよ。
I don't know. The context. Like, the first sentence, context-wise, that makes sense what's here. But she looks detached, too. Planting a hands-off approach in all this.
なんだかんだ言ってゆうとちゃんのことは信頼しているのよね。
Okay, if I knew Japanese, I would easily sell my confusion right now. But yeah, I'll just believe whatever she says right now. I might be, yeah. You know what? Never mind for now. Never mind for now. Welcome back, Sakura no Tat. I mean,
That was incredible.
町の皆さんに大歓迎してもらいました。
On the way to the old man's shop, people started asking me who Kanade-san was, so I introduced her as my fiancée Konyakusha, and then chaos ensued. Shouts that there was a new bride in town spread like wildfire, and before we knew it, we were surrounded by a festive parade. I'm glad they were so willing to accept Kanade-san into the community.
いっぱいお土産もらっちゃいました。
Kanade-san's arms are filled with fruit, vegetables, and an assortment of other items.
皆さん優しい方たちですね。
They are. There aren't many people left around here, and lots of buildings have turned into ruins, so life here isn't very convenient. But everyone who still lives here supports each other. We all love this place, and we're all friends.
素敵ですね。
This type of tight-knit community definitely isn't for everyone, but I really love this town, and everyone in it.
はい。私もゆうとさんが手紙に書いてくれた町のことをこの町で暮らしながら一つずつ確かめていきたいです。
I'd be happy to show you around.
はい。
It's a bit too early for them to treat you like a bride, though.
ですよね。まだ恋にも落ちてないのに。
I just noticed her outfit. What's that silver thing? Like she's wearing like a it looks like a plate armor thing. Like it looks metal. You know? I don't know what you call those things, man. Anyway, yeah, that's what I mean. I think there's a huge difference between being engaged and actually getting married. It's getting late. So let's go and say hi to the old man at the shop.
それと店長さんですね。実際にお会いするのは初めてなのでドキドキです。
Doki doki? なぜ？
はい。お二人に気に入っていただけるといいのですが、先ほど町の皆さんにこの子ならおじいちゃんと店長に気に入ってもらえるっていっぱい言われたので。
Like I said, they're definitely getting ahead of things here.
ですよね。まだ私たち恋にも落ちてないのに。
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad that neither of us are the type to get carried away by other people's expectations.
おー、やっと来たね。待ってたよ。
Oh, yeah, Aki is voiced by Mochi's VA. Yupi. Anyway.
The woman greeting us with a cheerful smile is the Tensho, Akine, and the old man Oji silently eyeing us is the owner. Akine is the owner's granddaughter. She moved out of town for work, but to return a few years ago to take over the junk shop her Oji-chan has been running for decades. Everyone refers to her as Tensho now, including myself. I help out at the shop by repairing the broken gadgets that come in and searching for various bits and pieces that we can use for that. The old man is like, Anosho-sama. Also, anyway, never mind. And Tensho is like a reliable Onesan. Even though the Oji-san is supposed to be retired, he continues tinkering with whatever he gets his hands on.
で、この子がユウトの婚約者かい？
はい、はじめまして。ゆうとさんの婚約者でかなでと言います。
私はジャンク屋の店長をやっているアキだ。みんなからは店長とかアキ姉とかって呼ばれてる。よろしくね。
こちらこそよろしくお願いします。アキ姉さんのこと、ゆうとさんからお手紙でいろいろお話は聞いています。この町の自警団の団長もやっていて、とっても頼りになる姉御肌のお姉さんだって。
おお、そりゃ嬉しいね。ま、困ったことがあったら何でも気軽に相談しておくれ。はい、
ありがとうございます。
んで、こっちがじいさんね。
The old man gives me a silent stare.
悪いがアキ、俺とこいつらとだけで話をさせてくれねえか。
あいよ。ああ、そういえば言うと東野さんちの機械が動かなくなったらしくてね。
Kanade briefly explains the nature of the malfunction and what part she needs to fix it. Okay, got it. I'll keep an eye out, and if I find anything, I'll drop it
よ
off.
ろしくね
She leaves Kanade-san and me alone with the old man. After a long silence, he begins speaking in a low, gruff voice.
よもや俺に嘘をつくような真似はしねえよな
I reflexively straighten my posture when I see a sharp glint in his eye. No, sir. Let me explain. And so I start telling him the whole story about Kanade-san, and I began exchanging letters after she saved my pigeon about the fact that her parents aren't in the picture and that she needs to move in with me, but I can't go into details behind the circumstances as to why. I'll also tell him about the arranged marriage cover-up story that we came up with. The old man listens quietly to my explanation. Once I'm done, he doesn't say anything for a few minutes until
わかった
he voices his approval. I'll let out a soft sigh of relief. Not that I would have reneged on my promise with Kanade-san if he didn't approve, but it's still nice to know that we have his
そ
blessing.
いやおめえの父親には話をつけたのか
Not yet. I'm planning to call him tonight. My parents, who are traveling merchants, are on the east side of Eurasia. Man, that's so far right now. It's still night over there when it's afternoon here. I didn't think it was urgent enough to wake them up. Or should I?
ああすぐに話をしておけこういうのは早ければ早いほどいい
Okay, got it. I decided to call my parents using the old man's radio transceiver at the shop.
ユウトか
珍しいじゃない。こんな時間に連絡してくるなんて。
どうした何かあったのか
Jitsu, I get the same explanation I just gave the old man. My Otosan's booming laughter almost drowns out my Okasan's soft
いい
giggles.
んじゃないねえ、あなた。
おおやれやれ大いにやるがいい
Just like that. They're so carefree. That's nothing new, though. This isn't the first time they're giving me free reign. When I told them I wanted to stay in this town by myself, even though I was still in my early teens, they told me the same thing. Go for it. I really appreciate their support, but sometimes I question their sense of responsibility as parents. Regardless, I'm extremely thankful that they don't disapprove of our relationship.
しかしお前は真面目で堅実な性格だと思っていると時々こうしてとんでもないことをやらかすな
I'm surprised myself too, actually. Never thought I would agree to live together with a girl who claims to be half a Jujin and wants to fall in love so she can save the world eater. If somebody had told me that a week ago, I'd probably shake my head in
い
disbelief.
や実に結構少年はそのくらいの勢いがあった方がいいってもんだ
そうよ。あなたが一人で暮らしたいって言ってきた時も驚いたけど、ちょっとだけ安心したのよね。
夜になれば酔っ払って大騒ぎする両親の世話を小さい頃からそれこそ何でもないって顔してやってくれていたからな
ほんと、二日酔いの頭で心配してたのよね。この子、このままダメ両親の世話だけ焼いて生きていくつもりなのかしらって。
Okay, I'm convinced why Yuto is very responsible now.
今は自堕落で破天荒な両親から離れられてよかったなユウト
I don't know how to respond when you put it like that.
とにかくね、私たちはあなたが子供らしくしてくれると安心するのよ。
おうともなかなか子供らしい勢いがあってよろしい
He's right. It is pretty impulsive to suddenly have a girl you never met in person before move in with you, even if you've been exchanging letters. I'm not sure I'll call it childlike, though.
とにかくだやると決めたからにはせいぜい頑張れ
Yeah, I'll do my best.
かなでちゃん。はい。うちのユウトをよろしくね。こちらこそ。ユウトさんにはこれからお世話になります。おじさま、おばさま、よろしくお願いいたします。いいわね。私、娘も欲しかったのよね。
こいこと言ってないでさっさと結婚しちまうってのはどうだ。
まだ早いです。
We reply in perfect sync, and given how my Okasan and Otasan start laughing, I guess that must have sounded hilarious. Well, since we got their permission, I decided to end the call. You must be surprised by how irresponsible my parents
い
are.
いえ、全然です。ゆうとさんにも理解があって素敵なご両親だと思いました。
Glad they didn't put you off by calling themselves toxic and self-indulgent. They're not entirely wrong there, but I'm still proud of them and admire them for their confidence to follow their own path.
まあ二人とも酒はほどほどにしておけとは思うがな。
They're not violent drunks, but they either cry, laugh, or dance, and then they pass out and wake up with a massive hangover the next day. It was a real pain living with them. For what it's worth, I didn't mind taking care of them that much. Their hangovers usually reduce them to useless blobs in the morning, but they were always thankful when I helped them, and I kind of liked the feeling of being relied on. Anyway, I'm glad I was able to talk to the old man and my parents about my new living situation. Next up is... Hey, old man. There's something else I wanted to tell you.
おう、なんだ。
I introduced Kanade-san to almost everyone in town. But apparently nobody saw her when she made her way to the tower.
おう。
I wasn't bothered by it at first, but the more people we talked to, the more I started wondering.
どういうことでしょうか。
Oh, go man. It's not as big as a deal I'm making it out to be. Just something I'm curious about. Did you come here through an underground tunnel or something, Kanade-san?
はい、そうです。
And when you exited the tunnel, you were right at the base of the tower?
その通りです。
なるほどな。
She used the subway system. Got it. The old man and I exchanged a nod. We heard enough to understand how Kanade-san was able to get to the tower in the middle of the town without being
で
seen.
も不思議です。どうしてわかったんですか。
そんな難しい話じゃない。わしとこいつはよくそこを探索してたんじゃよ。ま、今はこいつだけでほっつき回っているがな。
あ、手紙にも書いてあった地下の探索ですね。
Yeah, that's it. It'll be really convenient to have an entrance right underneath the tower, so I'd love to know where it is. Kanade-san?
はい、
Would you mind showing us where you exited exactly?
はい、もちろんです。
Unless the am I past the opening song? Is her singing by the tower the opening song? I was expecting like like your typical opening song, with animation and a lot of things happening. I'll figure out if I need to cut. If you hear this conversation, obviously the opening song happens later, I guess. Anyway, Kanade-san leads us to the entrance of the tunnel. When I step inside, I'm baffled by the sight that awaits me there. The walls of the tunnel are lined with glowing plants. It's such a mysterious, dreamlike scene. Last time I checked, the tunnel is in this area where pitch black inside, and the rough, unenforced earthen walls and floors were bumpy, with the roots of the trees growing on the surface. I thought it would have been really tough for Kanade-san to walk such long distance through tunnels like that, but, well, this is a surprise.
何か以前と違いますか。
Yeah, when we explored the tunnels before, there weren't any plants down here, and it certainly wasn't glowing like this. There might have been some moss growing on the walls, but there definitely wasn't any leafy vines like these. They must have given you light so that you wouldn't get lost
そう
inside.
いえば、ゆうとさんのところまで来るのに地下トンネルが迷路みたいにいっぱい枝分かれしていましたが、迷わずに2日で来られたのは光る植物さんたちのいる道をたどってきたおかげな気がします。
What do you mean, a couple of days? 2 days? If I'd known it would take her that long, I would have insisted she stay home. Kanade-san? Did you sleep in the tunnels?
はい、
I think back when she arrived on my doorstep, she was only carrying a small bag, and it definitely wasn't large enough to carry any sort of camping gear. Did you sleep on the earthen floor? Didn't it hurt? Maybe her little bag was filled with all sorts of incredible state-of-the-art alien fusion technology, like little castles from which an entire bed pops out if you throw
あ
them.
のですね、ここの地面に生えている植物ってとってもふわふわで柔らかいんです。ゆうとさんも寝てみてください。
Okay, let's see. I lie down on the floor as Kanade-san suggested. She lies down next to me. Wow, what is this?
雲の上にいるみたいにふかふかですよね。
Yeah, it's really comfortable. I slept in a few different beds and sleeping bags before, but this is the most comfortable thing I ever felt in my life.
それに植物の香りだと思うんですけど、いい匂いがしますよね。
Oh yeah, every time I shift positions, this really nice herb-like scent waves around
ハ
me.
ーブは元気になったり、すっきりしたりするんですよね。
Yeah, that's
だ
right.
から目が覚めた時も全身が痛かったり、ぐったり疲れるどころか、すごく爽やかですっきりした気持ちだったんですね。
That's incredible.
はい。なので植物さんにありがとうねってお礼を言いました。起きてから少し歩くだけで地上に出られたので、眠らなくてもよかったのかもしれませんが、寝不足の回らない頭で初めてゆうとさんと会ってお話ししたんじゃ、すごくもったいなかったはずなので。
I'm glad to hear that you didn't struggle too much on your way here. Still lying down, we turn our heads to face each other and smile. The entrance at the foot of the tower that Kanade-san showed me is completely covered by plants, obscuring it from view. That's why the old man and I never found it. But the plants let us through when Kanade-san was with us. Kanade-san, were you saying the whole time you walked through the tunnels?
そうですけど、どうしてわかったんですか？
Well, I was just wondering if perhaps the plants grew this way because of your singing. The plants provided her with light, a soft bed, and even opened up an entrance right at the foot of the tower for her. Thanks to that, Kanade-san didn't get lost. She had a comfortable place to rest, and she was able to arrive at my place safely. Given that, I suspected that the plants responded to her voice. The plants are generally seen as a threat to the town by the people here, and there are valid reasons for that, but at least to Kanade-san, the plants seem to be valuable allies. Or so I realized while I'm enjoying the comfort of this leafy bed. I could easily doze off and laze around here forever, but unfortunately there's still other things to do. Reluctantly I stand up and Kanade-san does the same.
あ、でもですね、食べ物と飲み物は持たせてもらったので、歩いている途中もピクニックみたいに楽しく過ごせました。
You were given food? You mean by the punya?
はい、プニャです。
I remember the drawing of the punya that Kanade-san included in one of her letters. They're mysterious little creatures with leaves or flowers for her ears, and they're small enough that she can lift them with both hands. That's how she described them. When I first read that letter, I assumed she was referring to stuffed animals or imaginary friends, but the more I hear about them, the more I'm convinced that these mysterious creatures really do exist.
はい、プニャがこれを持っていけってカバンを渡してくれました。カバンの中にお布団がなかったのは、トンネルの植物さんがお布団になってくれるってプニャはきっと分かっていたからですね。
Makes sense. You mentioned that you kind of understood how plants felt, so maybe the plants understood you as well and decided to help
お
you.
礼をいっぱい言うと植物さんたちも答えてくれている気がします。言葉じゃないんですけど、なんとなくわかるんです。宇宙人の娘ですから。あとですね、タワーの真下に着くちょっと前に面白いものを見かけました。
Oh, something interesting. What was
地
it?
下の町です。
You mean that place with a big atrium surrounded by shops?
通り過ぎただけなのであまり詳しくは覚えてないんですが、多分そんな感じだったかと。もしかしてユウトさんも見たことがあるんですか？
Yeah, I have. The old man told me
お
about
じ
it.
いさんが。
Apparently, he spent nearly half his life trying to find that place. Until a few years ago, we used to explore the tunnels together all of the time. He's lost some mobility due to his age in recent years. After he decided he couldn't go down there himself, he told me about it. As far as I'm aware, we're the only two people who know about the underground town and the tunnels. The old Oji-san was exploring the ruins of the subway station when he found the first tunnel. The walls of the subway tunnel were crumbling. He felt a cool breeze from one of the gaps, thinking it strange, broke down the wall and then found another tunnel on the other side. It was unlike anything he'd ever seen. Most of the abandoned structures were completely stripped of any furniture, tools, and other useful materials long ago. Nowadays, few people think it's worth the risk to visit any of them. That means for the longest time, Oji-san, my brain. Old man was the only person aware of the existence of the vast networks of tunnels and dwellings underground beyond the vestiges of the old subway system. There's lots of valuable things that can be found down there. If the public became aware of its existence, people would probably come in droves looking for anything valuable. But the tunnels could collapse at any time, so it's extremely dangerous. I'd like to keep them a secret if you don't mind.
わかりました。
I meant what I said, but at the same time, I don't think anybody will start exploring them anytime soon. It's pitch black down there, and the tunnels are like an ant nest. It's definitely not easy to find your way around. Thanks to the bioluminescence coming from the plants, it's bright out of the sea now. But once Kanade-san leaves, it'll probably be just as dark as before. Anyway, that's all besides the point. The old man told me keep the tunnels as a secret, but Kanade-san found them all on her own, so it's not like I broke my promise. Do you want to go to the underground town with me now that we're here? I should be able to locate all the machine parts that Tencho asked me to find there. We entered the underground town. Give me a second. I need to take a pause.
精度しますね。
All right, I'm back. I ate dinner and I actually checked out if there was actually an opening song. There is, so looks like we're still good. All right.
We enter the underground town. The plants intertwine throughout the underground halls, and stairways glow like phosphorescent stones in the fantasy world. All the plants are glowing. This is incredible. Thanks to the bright green glow all around us, I'm able to find the parts I need in no time.
すぐに見つかってよかったです。
It's all thanks to your help. I couldn't have found them without you.
飼っている植物さんのおかげですけど、でもそう言ってもらえると嬉しいです。
You're right. I should thank the plants too. Thank you for your blessing.
ありがとうございます。
I smile when Kanade-san mimics my actions, clapping her hands in prayer beside me and giving a deep bow towards the plants. Looks like we won't have any trouble exploring from now on. Until now, I always had to be careful that my lamp didn't run out of kerosene while I was around here. Only if you don't mind coming with me, of
も
course.
ちろんです。私もユウトさんと一緒に探索いっぱいしたいです。
Awesome. Thanks.
探索して地上では見つからないような修理用のパーツを探したりするんですね。
There's that too. I look up. We arrive in an area with a high ceiling. I already have a vague idea of what this used to be, but now that it's bright enough, I can actually tell that it used to be a shopping mall. But there's something else the old man is looking for.
何をですか？
Something.
何かですか？
Yup, he's not sure what exactly it is either, but he's sure he would recognize it right away if we ever found it.
それは謎ですか？
It does sound like one. I don't know what that something is, but when I saw the expression in the old man's face when he talked about it, I suddenly felt like I had to find it for him. That's why I'm taking over the job from
それ
him.
はどうしてですか？
I don't have much that really matters to me. No major dreams or aspirations or anything like that. So I thought that instead of fulfilling my own dreams, maybe I could help others fulfill theirs. That's something the old man is looking for. Must be really important to him. That's probably what made me want to do it for him. I don't really feel sad or empty for not having my own dreams. And since I don't have no attachments, I'm able to get up and go whenever somebody needs anything. In a way, I'm in the best possible position for that kind of job. That's why I immediately decided to help you when I heard about your dream too. Besides, not getting overly attached to anything has its advantages too. I smile at Kanade-san and feel a flush spreading across my face. It's a bit embarrassing to talk about myself like this. If I fall in love with you, then you'll be the first person in the world I ever truly care about. The first person I'll want to protect no matter what.
I feel bad for his parents, bro.
私が優斗さんの初めてになる
Yeah,
それってドキドキしますね
yeah, it is. My heart's racing right now. I feel like that came across really cheesy.
そんなことはないですそれに私も優斗さんが私の初めてになるのすごく楽しみです
I see. I really hope it will work out. No, we'll make it happen. I always prefer to be in a supporting role, helping people who have dreams and things they care about. Few things are more satisfying than having someone thank you for your help. However, I look at Kanade-san beside me. From now on, I have to... No. I want to. Do everything I can to fall in love with you. To be in love is to be the protagonist in your own story.
世界の中心に
Yeah, I want to fall in love with you. I had to take the center stage in my... Yeah, in our world. It's just a matter of putting your heart into it, but that's incredibly important. Loving is something you do with your heart after all.
そうですね私も優斗さんと一緒に二人の世界の中心に立ちたいです
Okay, let's do our best then.
ところで二人で恋に落ちるためには何から始めればいいんでしょう
Good question. I think it over for a moment, then I offer Kanade-san my hand. This feels like a logical first step. Why don't we start by holding hands?
握手ですね
Very lewd, by the way.
We turn to each other. We turn to face each other, and I take hold of the hand Kanade-san offers me. First with my right hand, and then with both. Her hands are pale and soft, and comfortably warm. All we're doing is holding hands, but I can feel my heart start to beat faster.
不思議ですこうして優斗さんと手をつないでいると気持ちが浮き立ってきます
Kanade-san starts to sing. The plants around us seem to respond to her voice. Little round motes of light rise from the leaves like fireflies. We both stare in awe at the fantastical sight. This place has been a secret between the old man and me for so long, but the scene before us now is a secret between the two of us. Our very special secret.
秘密の特別な光景それってなんだかすごくドキドキしますね
It does.
はい
I give Kanade-san's hand a gentle squeeze, and she looks up at me. Her wide, beautiful eyes sparkle as they reflect the effulgent plants around us. Kanade-san, let's try all sorts of new experiences together. Then I'm sure we can fall in love.
はい試してみたいですいろいろなことを優斗さんと一緒に
Alright, I think we got something going here. Let's keep at it. You never know unless you try.
えいえいおー
And so, amidst the myriad sparkles of light emitted by the plants, our cheers echo through the depths of the underground town.
Piano by our guy. When does the opening song play? I mean, I know we had to end upload recording until before that, but like I don't know how far, because I know this is like 4 to 6 hours ish, and we're already like 1 hour 30 minutes. But then I'm reading out loud, so
Wow, we didn't get lost at all on our way back. It's all thanks to your help that I was able to find the parts I needed and make it back so quickly. Thank you so much,
ゆ
Kanade-san.
うとさんのお役に立てたならよかったです。
You were a massive help.
やりました。あ、うまくいった時はこういうのをするんですよね。
Kanade-san holds up both her hands, palms out, and beckons me to do the same. Oh, I get it. You want a high five, right?
ではやりますね。ぷーぷーぷにゃぷにゃ。
Our hands collide with a satisfying clap. Kanade-san, would you mind explaining what that unique cheer of yours
こ
means?
れはですね、ぷにゃと一緒に考えた掛け声なんです。何かがうまくできた時に一緒にやったーって声を合わせられるようにぷにゃも言えるようにしたんです。何か始める時気合を入れる場合にもやってました。ちなみにぷにゃは手がないのでハイタッチはボディでやってくれました。
It's easy to imagine what that would look like. I see. I'll try using it next time then.
いいんですか？
Of course, it'll be more fun for you if I cheer with you, right?
とっても楽しいですし、何よりゆうとさんが一緒にやってくれるって言ってくれたことが嬉しいです。
Glad to hear it. Kanade-san looked adorable when she jumped into the air while singing her punya punya thing. What a feast for the eyes. Let's go deliver these parts to Tensho now.
おう、早速見つけてきてくれたんだ。助かったよ。ありがとね。
Tensho! Something soft when he touches my cheek for a split second. Those words definitely her lips.
what did she mean by this, by the way?
I yelp in surprise, completely unprepared for such a sudden ambush.
小さい子供の頃は喜んでくれたのにな。
She was starting since they were kids.
When he was a kid, what did she mean by this? Well, I'm not little anymore.
ガキは子供じゃないって言いたがるもんさ。
God, it just like ... and
Wow, there's something. That's a weird. Okay, whatever.
oh, maybe now she wants to do it too.
Oh no, she didn't see that, did she? What should I say to her? We haven't even started falling in love yet, so getting a kiss on the cheek from another girl shouldn't count as cheating. Right? Or does it? Yeah, bye. What now?
私もゆうとさんにチューしていいですか？
Knew it. She'd want to do it too.
でもつなぎましたし、次はチューでも。
Well, I mean, they already did the loot thing of holding hands.
Aren't you skipping a few steps?
でもゆうとさんもいろいろ試してみようって。それにこういうのは勢いが大事だって。
おお、いいぞいいぞ。わしが許可しよう。
I'm gonna sit in my chair while watching guys continue and get the momentum going on, says the old man. Old man?
いいよいいよ。好きにするといいよ。濃厚なやつをぶっちゅーってやってもよし。
Bruh, it runs in their family.
Tensho?
お二人からも許可をいただきました。
That's not how it works, Kanade-san.
でもゆうとさんにいいよって言ってもらわないとこういうのはしてはいけない気がします。
確かに許可は大事だもん。
That's rich coming from
っ
you.
てことで、ゆうと許可してあげなさい。
What did she mean by this? The old man approved. What?
Consent, huh? I let out an awkward cough and looked back towards Kanade-san. Listen, Kanade-san, I did say that I wanted to try all sorts of things with you. But there's no need to do it in front of everyone, is there?
では二人きりだったらいいんでしょうか。
You know what I mean?
Me and my big mouth. I take a moment to think it over. But ultimately, I nod. Yeah, it's okay when we're alone.
わかりました。それでは後でよろしくお願いします。
Got it. We'll take a rain check. And you, Tencho. I didn't like the mischievous grin she's wearing, so I give her a warning. Please stop teasing people so much. I might be used to it, but Kanade-san isn't. Oh, don't aw me. Answer me properly.
はいはいからかうのはあんただけにしとくよ。
God damn it, man.
Just don't overdo it.
了解。
Alright then. See you later.
ペコリ。
怒られちゃった。
お前の魔の手から彼女を守るためにしっかり釘を刺しときたかったんじゃろうな。
ナイト様だね。
ま、坊主の言う通りからかうのもほどほどにしとくんじゃな。
ちょっとじいさんがそれ言う？
What did she mean by this?
When we get back to the tower, Kanade-san walks towards the stairs. I call out to her. Kanade-san, it must be tiring to climb the stairs every time. There's an elevator over here, so let's use it. I don't mind the climb, but it must be rough for a delicate girl like her to go up all those steps. When I moved into the observation deck, I asked the old man to help me fix the elevator so I could carry up my furniture and other heavy stuff. He and the Tencho use it whenever they come over, too, so it's been well maintained.
ユウトさんもエレベーターで登りますか？
To be honest, I don't mind the stairs, but if I say that, I'm sure Kanade-san will insist on using the stairs too. Yeah, I do. Let's take it up together.
戻りました。
Yep.
ではチューしましょう。
Bring it on! Bring it on! What? No, wait a second. She was gearing up to jump into my arms, but she freezes in her tracks.
お預けですか？
Yeah, no. I clear my throat and look at her in the eye. Would you mind if I kiss you instead of the other way around?
しましょう。私から先にしたいです。私にとっては初めてのチューですし。
It's going to be my first sign too.
ユウトさんは店長さんにチューされてたじゃないですか。子供の頃はユウトさんから店長さんにしてたのではないですか？
Well, yeah, but kissing a kid on the cheek doesn't count as a real kiss. And while it's true she kissed me like that, I never actually kissed anyone myself. Our eyes lock and sparks seem to fly between our stubborn gazes.
こうしていても仕方ありませんね。
Yeah, one of us is gonna have to give
そ
in.
れではじゃんけんで決めましょう。
Sounds good.
じゃんけん
Again? Oh,
勝ちました。
ah, damn it! Kanade-san happily skips towards me while I throw up my arms and my hands in defeat.
それでは私から。
She brings her face close to mine and pulls back again almost immediately. But the soft, sweet warmth of her lips lingers on my cheek.
I thought that didn't count.
Anyway, what was that? It felt incredible. Her kiss felt different than my mom's, the Tencho's, or the old ladies in town. What? What? Oh, the old ladies?
This guy's good with the old ladies, huh?
Her soft lips merely brush my cheek, but a gentle warmth seeps into my whole body and converges in my heart, along with a bittersweet feeling it invokes along the way. I'm overcome by the impulse to roll around the floor in joy. Is this the power of Kanade-san's kisses? How will I ever be able to reciprocate? No, now's not the time to be shy. It's not about whether or not I can do it. You're a man, Yuto. You will do it. Alright, I'm up next. Kanade-san closes her eyes in anticipation. Her face turns upward, her lips slightly puckered. Huh? She almost looks like as if she's expecting me to kiss her on the lips. No, wait, calm down. It's still too soon for that. We haven't fallen in love yet, so we're not lovers or anything. Or are we? We did decide to become a couple. Am I just imagining things? What is she really thinking?
ゆうとさん
Kanade-san opens one of her eyes to peek at me. Ah, crap. I'm waiting her wait because I'm getting all flustered. Go in. She closes her eyes again. I can't make her wait any longer. Ah, right. Here goes nothing. I place my hands on her shoulders and lean in slowly toward Kanade's round porcelain cheek. Ugh. Kanade-san opens her eyes and flashes a radiant smile.
ですね
I sure did. A shy blush reddens her cheeks. When I notice it, it's as if time stops for the briefest of moments. Ah, I have no words. It's been a crazy day. As I get ready for bed, I think back to everything that happened today. Kanade-san looks ready to hit the sack as well.
それではおやすみなさい
Yeah. Oyasumi. I point over to a corner that is shielded from view using a makeshift room divider. There's a futon for you over there. What?
一緒に寝ないんですか
Oh. Oh. Oh.
やはり恋するには同じお布団で寝た方がいいと思うんです
Is that so? I'm afraid that would stroke certain feelings that go beyond romantic love.
ゆうとさんも挑戦あるのみだってこういうのは勢いが大事だって
She's right. That's what I said. And this is the second time she reminded me of that. And seeing that sincere look in her face, her eyes, I just give me 10 seconds, okay?
はい
There's not much I can gain from a mere 10 seconds of contemplation, but it's long enough to at least gather up whatever courage I can. She's practically presenting herself to me on a silver platter. I don't want to take advantage of her impatience, but I think I might be the luckiest man alive. All right, let's do it.
はいそれでは
Kanade-san gets on my futon and pulls the blanket over herself. I join her soon after. That's a very thick futon. That looks like a normal bed. No, that looks like a normal mattress. Isn't that a normal looking mattress? It doesn't look like a futon. There's no way that's a futon. Anyway, we're facing away from each other, and I feel her back against mine. She's so warm.
おやすみなさいゆうとさん
Ah, Yasumi. Just like that, she falls asleep. I want to be like that later. Just lie in the bed and fall asleep immediately. Soon enough, Kanade-san's breaths grow deep and steady. We're separated by 2 layers of cloth, my clothes and hers. But I'm keenly aware of her warmth against mine. My brain. I should get some sleep after this. She doesn't seem to be nervous around me at all. I guess that shows how much she trusts me. A slightly sweet scent seems to envelop me from behind. The soft sound of her breath tickled my ears like a dandelion fluff. I don't think I'm going to get a wink of sleep tonight. How do people... I don't know. I don't know, man. Is it that supposed to be like the best sleep of your night, or, you know? I don't know, man. I don't know that feeling. I really can't sleep. Whenever I camp outside during one of my expeditions, I usually fall asleep within 5 seconds. Even when I'm cramped in a small room with Iori and Minori, I have no trouble sleeping. However, Kanade-san is different. She said she wants to experience what love feels like. She wants to fall in love with me. I wonder if she realizes the underlying issue with that wish of hers. She said she wants to sing the greatest love song in order to save the world. And to achieve that, she needs to fall in love. Saving the world is her primary goal. Sumari, it's nothing but a means to an end. In that sense, her motive isn't pure. You could say that she's treating love as a tool she needs to obtain to save the world. Will she really be able to sing the greatest love song if she falls in love with me for such a utilitarian reason? But at the same time, Kanade-san's wish to save the world is as pure can be. She mentioned it was something her Okasan was originally supposed to do. But her Okasan's not with us anymore for whatever reason. I didn't ask for any details. But it's clear to me that Kanade-san loves her Okasan deeply, and she must love Kanade-san with all her heart as well. I could feel it from every word in her letters. Kanade-san's Okasan left her goal unfinished and was forced to entrust it to her daughter. It must have been an incredibly difficult decision to burden her dear little girl with such a daunting task. Maybe she didn't have any other options. Yet, Kanade-san had that carefree smile on her face when she told me about her goal to save the Earth. She's carrying on her Okasan's wishes. And besides, the Kanade-san I know would never dream of using koi as a mere tool to suit her purpose. She's just earnestly trying her best to fall in love. Whether it's carrying out her Okasan's wishes, will, saving the world, or falling in love, everything Kanade-san wishes for is pure. That's why... Then why... Oh, my brain. Then why is it that she seems so detached from the real world? Why is it that the thought of using koi as a tool would never even cross her mind? Is it the environment in which she was raised? Or is it because she's half Uchujin? Hambu Uchujin. I don't think Kanade-san would understand if I talked to her directly about my concerns. It might cause her to worry needlessly. Besides, no matter what her original goal was, she might still be able to fall in love normally and sing the greatest love song. My thoughts keep going in circles, but there's one thing I keep going back to. What if Kanade-san and I could fall in love so deeply that she completely forgets about saving the world for even a moment? Wouldn't that alleviate all my concerns? That's a huge responsibility on my shoulders. I need to up my game. By the way, Kanade-san seems to have gotten a bit restless, tossing and turning next to me on our futon. At first, she seemed to be fast asleep, but maybe something woke her up. Does sleeping right next to me make her nervous after all? In that case, maybe I should suggest that we sleep in separate futons for tonight.
ゆうとさん、
What's up?
今日とても楽しかったんです。ゆうとさんと初めて会って、他にもいろいろな人と出会って、何もかも初めてばかりで。
ASMR voice, by the way.
いおりさん、植物で困ってましたね。
She did. Lots of people need help controlling them. I love how a building looks when it's covered in vines. But There's no denying that it causes all sorts of inconveniences in daily life. And Kanade-san can sing this greatest love song and save the world. I'm sure all those worries will go away. No. Wait. I think back to what Kanade-san did for me this morning. Hey. We both speak about almost the same time. Oh, go ahead. You first.
いえ、ゆうとさんからどうぞ。
Okay then. I was wondering if you might be able to help us with your plant whispering powers, if you don't mind, that is. I'll do whatever I can to support you. Kanade-san sits up.
私も同じ話をしようって思っていました。私、最高のラブソングを歌っていつか世界を救います。でもそのいつかが来る前に私に何かできることがないかなって、今日皆さんの話を聞いてすごくそう感じて、それに身近な人たちが困っているのを助けることだって世界を救うための大切な一歩になるかなって。
Yeah, it could be. If you want to help, I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. So, let's give it a try. We stayed up talking about our new venture for hours, discussing various ways in which Kanade-san could help people with her ota. We had so many ideas to share with each other that we could have kept talking about it forever. In that case, how about... Kanade-san? She fell asleep. I gently lay Kanade-san back on the futon. She managed to fall asleep sitting up. She must be exhausted. She walked for 2 days straight, climbed the stairs up to the observation deck, and spent most of the day meeting everyone, followed by an expedition underground. It's truly been a busy day. I shouldn't have kept her awake so long talking. My bad. I lie down again next to her. Kanade-san snuggles up to me, her back against mine. I'd be lying if it didn't excite me. No, I'm not just excited. My heart is absolutely racing. Eventually, the warmth enveloping me from behind gradually calms me down. I focus on that gentle warmth while listening to her soft, steady breaths. As I do, I start to feel like I'm floating, as if this entire day had been nothing but a dream. My consciousness is growing fuzzy. Have I died of cuteness overload and gone to heaven? No, I'm just getting drowsy. Yasumi. Wait, ironically, I'm also getting sleepy myself right now. Sweet dreams. Kanade-san. When I wake up, I'm alone. For a moment, I believed that it really was all just a dream. But I pinched my cheek. No, I'm wide awake. This is Genjutsu, and Kanade-san is here with me.
おはようございます、ゆうとさん。
Kanade-san flashes me a bright smile when she just notices that I'm awake. Ohayo. I give her a casual wave and smile back at her.
ゆうとさん、なんだかとっても嬉しそうです。
She's right. I am happy. I'm thrilled to be spending more time with Kanade-san. Today marks a fresh start. It's the beginning of our life together.
Kanade.
All right. I can't go further for now. I don't know.
As far as I know, they uploaded like, oh, you can't go beyond the opening song. Okay, I'll stay with that. Anyway, that's kind of it. I'll continue to read on my own. I guess you guys should also read it. It's only $12, so yeah, you know, you guys could just, you know, I don't know, man. You buy it and read it by yourselves. I did hear it's like a really short read, so you guys could go ahead and read it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll continue with my other activities. Kanade is like a one-time thing-ish. I'll be continuing with my usual stuff with Stellar Blade, and then as per our schedule, I'll do Stellar Blade until Death Stranding 2 arrives, and then I'll try to finish it within a week. I am on leave until that week and the next, and then we'll go back to visual novels. And I hope you guys are watching, and I'll see you guys on the next upload or stream. Ciao.